All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Racers News Network Live. Hopefully, the little amigo will be joining us shortly. He's working vigorously in his shop to attempt to join us. No promises, no guarantees, but there's almost always one way to get Pete to make sure that he shows up. Oh,
She's coming on.
oh, she made it.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Taylor's sister. Very nice. Bravo, Tori. Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
But there's almost always one way to hopefully guarantee that you may at least make a guest appearance is to have these two on. So, of course, these two, I mean Taylor Nobile and her wonderful sister Tori. Now, are you still in a delayed flight status or?
No, my flight is taking all, well, I board in like 45 minutes, I think.
Oh, all right.
So I'm, you know, 45
On
minutes
your,
closer to being home from a month on the road.
There
and
you
you're
go.
on your second flight of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I flew out of where was I? California. Can't even remember, sorry. I flew out of California this morning at like 8 a.m. and on my last leg. Can't wait.
So 3 or 4 days later, you might actually get home.
Just hoping by tonight.
You need to have a chat with your travel agent, and I found out it's not the travel agent that I thought it was.
No, it's not. I have a different, well, I do it myself or my friends do it.
So one of the things that we talked a lot about this year, we heard a lot of chatter around tracks that of few tracks that I get to go to, is representing for your sponsors. And of course, there's a lot of chat too about the new generation, next generation of racers, and you two ladies represent a huge part of the next generation of racers. So I want to kind of pose the question. We'll start off with this just because you could have to bail anytime to get into your plane. What in your eyes, girls, does it take to represent in the modern day for your sponsors? I'll
Do
let
you want to go first?
Yeah, I definitely think like sponsorships aren't just, I feel like a little bit back then people think that like it's just as easy as like meeting a person, getting money from them and posting on social media when anymore like companies really want you to bring them or bring something to the table, like whether that's a connection with another company, like going racing with my friend Camry. I realized a lot like she has 20 sponsors and she connects them all and gets everybody different business and all that, and I think that's really a big part of it. I think it's more than just the publicity on social media and all that kind of stuff.
I think I'll add on to that. So they call it B2B now. So that's how they call your sponsorships. So what that basically means is that they're going to give you something and you have to give them something in return. And it's not like Tori said, I think it's really changed from like social media was like a huge part of it. And I think the only part of it in the beginning. And now it's kind of developed to and changed to like, hey, I'll just use Right Trailers, our sponsorship. Like I work for Right Trailers, or I'm sponsored by Right Trailers. Let me show you some trailers here. And now you get a a company invested with Right Trailers. And it just isn't, I would say it's not as easy as it used to be to get a sponsor because you really have to work hard on your end now. Do you agree, Tor? She didn't hear me.
Lori, can you hear us?
I can hear you. I'm not gonna lie, the lady was talking about my flight and I was not listening to you, Taylor.
That's all right.
Try that again.
I said, do you agree with me? But Pete's here now, so we have to,
Oh,
let a standing ovation.
yes.
Hey,
So Pete, just to let you know, I did say a couple of minutes ago, one of the best ways to guarantee that you actually show up is to have these two on.
well, I don't want to brag or anything, but one of those two called me her fave.
Called you her what?
Don't worry about
What?
it. I'm her fave. That's short for favorite.
Dave.
One thing, she likes me more than she likes you.
Everybody likes you more than they like me.
Hello, ladies.
It's fine. Everybody likes Riley more than they like me, so I feel you.
Yeah, right. That's what happens when you have a kid, right?
Yeah.
So, a couple things I want to address here. Why is this one over here on mute?
I'm in an airport right now, so there's a lot of
Oh.
background noise. So I was trying to not have everybody hear all the flights going in and out.
Look at you, world traveler.
Yes, I just said to them I'm coming home after my month-long Western swing, with a trip to Mexico in between.
Very
Um,
nice.
I'm finally coming home. I'm on my last leg of my trip. I'm on a layover in Dallas, so hopefully soon I'll get on my flight, and hopefully my dad picks me up at midnight at the airport. If not, I guess I'll have to spend the night in Philly.
Yeah, be a hell of an Uber, right?
Yeah.
And what's up with the name?
Um, I made a joke actually when my sister got married a couple years ago. I either get referred to at the racetrack as, oh, you're Taylor's sister or you're Jackie's niece. So I just go with it. I don't have a name anymore. I'm just Taylor's sister.
All right, as long as you don't have an identity crisis, that's all we care
No.
about.
Nope, Taylor's sister. It works.
All right, that works.
And,
So what's up, everybody?
Camry's friend, right?
Yeah, now she is Camry's friend.
Yeah, Camry's friend and Taylor's sister. It's my titles.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Pete, as you know, we're diving into the sponsorship, what it takes to rep for your sponsor. So let's throw you into the mix as a business owner. Take it from there.
Well, I mean, it's so there's two ways that people look at it, in my opinion. One way is you want your company branded. You want people to talk good about the company. You want exposure for the company. And ultimately, you want to drive business to the company. Then there are people that put up sponsorships because they love seeing their name on the side of a car. And they know that ultimately it probably won't earn them a penny, but they like helping someone out. And, it's kind of and I'm speaking for me personally, it's an ego thing, right? I know that my auto repair business isn't going to see a single air filter or brake job because someone has my car running and has my name on a car running in Pennsylvania. But like I said, it's cool to help people out and see your name out there. You held your finger up. Hold on for a second.
Oh, no, go ahead. Taylor knows why I did that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's because you're private on Facebook that people are having an issue getting on. I don't know.
All right. For those of you that are listening, go on my Facebook page. For whatever reason, Zoom is not letting me
Yeah.
put it directly to the RNN page. So go on my Facebook page.
I'm just gonna send this right now.
Yeah,
Say it.
and do that. Like I said, it happened last week, and I don't know why it's doing it, but it is.
All right, I'm just writing this right now so that people know, because people were asking.
So, hey, what's our show without a technical glitch?
Yeah, exactly. I think Pete's correct there too, because there's people who, like, I'll use Right Trailers. They have their name on everything. They're out there. So they're a company that's huge and they love racers. Michael Scott is amazing. He just loves to support anyone and everybody that he can that does good for his company. And then you have like smaller companies that we've dealt with, like I wouldn't even say I don't even know who I'm trying to say as smaller at this point, because I feel like everybody has just gotten so big in the racing world. But a little company, like if you were supporting a mom and pop shop or something like that.
Well, like my business is a perfect example.
Exactly. So for you, you're getting awesome exposure. Maybe people have never heard of you. And you also you depend more on local exposure because you need people to come to you to do business, not somebody that's watching on NHRA TV that's 15 states over from you. You're not really going to benefit from that.
Yeah, no one in Pennsylvania is going to say, "Hey, I need to go to Pete's shop to get a brake job done."
Exactly.
It's not happening. But
Only
there's
people in New Hampshire.
also a satisfaction factor of I've developed my business enough that I could afford to give some back to the sport. And, maybe ego is the wrong thing, but it's just like I've always complimented your whole family on the exposure that you give your sponsors. You are not just a thanks for the check. I stuck a sticker on the side of my car and I'll see you next year when I want more money. It's, you look, especially if you're a company that wants to profit from sponsoring someone, you want to get the most bang for your buck, the most exposure. Doesn't even necessarily equate to going rounds as much as, like this show is the perfect example. You guys come on this show, you plug your sponsors. That to me would mean a lot more than did Taylor or Tori go out in the third round, the second round, or the fifth round,
And we've said that multiple times because people used to make comments when Tori was racing junior dragsters and it was like my first year. And they're like, why are people sponsoring you? You don't even go any rounds. Because my first year of Super Street wasn't really the best. And I said, that's where you don't understand. They don't care. Yes, it's great to have a winner circle picture with their name in it and you get to make this post that I won. And more media coverage definitely comes from that. Like my national event win, I think, helped me get 30 under 30. So like all of that helps you. But a sponsor, I didn't win a single race last year. And I'm working with almost every sponsor again this year. It had nothing to do with.
And another thing I'll add to that is like another big thing is like creating like long lasting relationships, like actually like friendships with the people. Like someone as simple as Josh Hart, it started off as literally a friendship started off with a dinner at Epping, which led to a friendship with him and my sister when he raced alcohol. And it stuck with us this whole time. I mean, this weekend at the banquet, like I saw Josh yesterday. I took pictures of him and his friends. Like it's all that, like, it's not just a check because it's so much more than that. Like you're creating relationships with people that you would really not be able to do if it wasn't for racing. And I mean, like Taylor's saying, I probably had not my worst year of drag racing this year, but I'm so sorry. I'm just going to give that a second. I'm sorry. Okay.
We can't hear anything on our end, so go ahead.
Okay, perfect, because it's really loud. But I probably had one of my worst years of racing. I had the worst luck. In Maple Grove, someone put a 5-pack on me and I had an 8-pack. Like just races that I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
But it doesn't matter because in the end, that's not what they're always looking for. And like Taylor said, it's a lot of the B2B stuff of like bringing them people or relationships to their business that they can, strive with. So, I mean, it all comes together.
Yep.
I was going to add to the Josh thing. Like Tori had mentioned, Josh started off as I helped them crack lobsters at New England Dan Page lobster bake thing.
Yep.
And now Josh has 2 kids. Our kids, I mean, they don't know that they're going to be friends, but they're friends at the racetrack and we all support each other. And Josh could have been a one and done year thing if we did nothing to show him how much we appreciated him. But I think this was our 6th year having Josh on the side of our cart. That's a long time to carry a sponsor in especially sportsman drag racing because you don't get to bring a ton of coverage to them because there's no TV coverage. So you really have to work on the marketing end of it because if not, there's nothing that they're benefiting from having you a part of their team.
Sure. And if someone is doing it just to do it, knowing that they're not getting anything out of it, as soon as that person that's spending the money gets a new interest, they could very easily move on to something else, maybe a different form of motorsports, or maybe they want to try it themselves, so they're going to spend money on their own program instead. That's one of the reasons why, like you said, it's so hard to get long-term sponsorships. And when you get them, you have to hustle and you have to work for them. And it's not just something that you're going to collect a check every year and say thanks and walk away, because people aren't that free to give up money, especially in recent years, post COVID. I mean, there's not a ton of money out there to be had. So you're really going to work for it when you get it. That's for sure. Right, Chris?
Absolutely. I'm still trying to figure this out. I have no idea. It's beyond my brain power.
It's okay. I got them all. I got them all to switch over to your Facebook.
Taylor redirected.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, Tori, Taylor, yes. I was looking at Taylor's sister and looking at you and then talking. It was like, what the hell's going on here? All right. So, Tori, since you're kind of possibly going to run off on us at any minute now, recap your season both as a competitor and as a crewmate. I know I can see the look on your face, but that's okay. We're an accepting group. We're a kind, gentle.
Yes. I mean, my year was nothing short of highs and lows. My car was broke, every few races. We couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. My dad and my uncles busted their butts to try and fix it. It was plain awful in the beginning of the year. I wanted to give up. I was like, let's just park this thing. Like, this just isn't going our way. And, my dad, of course, doesn't give up. And I got my first round win, in a way that I really shouldn't have, because I broke on the starting line and the guy didn't realize that I was broke and took me through, and I won my first round of racing, which was very exciting for me because I needed that.
And it was it was very fitting for the year you were having to win that round like that.
Yeah, and then we eventually fixed the car, and from then on out, it was just a lot of good races. Like I said, Maple Grove, someone put a 5-pack on me. Joey Cambria at Norwalk National put like a 10-pack on me. Like, just I was pulling in the lanes wrong almost every race, and that's all a part of racing. I mean, I learned a lot. I definitely learned that I need to be better, and driving the finish line, we're going to practice that this winter. And I totally learned as like a crew person and doing social media this year, the whole other side of drag racing. Being with Camry, I've learned the total business side of racing that I obviously didn't really understand because I race with my family, so I don't have to deal with that stuff. But I gained more of a respect for like pro racers and all the work that they have to put into just a weekend in general. Like, there's so much that goes into it that people don't see. And I hope to take that and put it into our own program. And doing social media has been really fun. I've learned how to use a camera and make videos and all that, which has helped Taylor and I, because before we just had boring videos of our cars going on the track. So that's another thing that worked out for both of us. So yeah, it's been a fun year. I'm excited for the off season and to regroup and come out in February. I guess it starts this year, so soon.
Any new plans for 24?
There might be some in the works. My goal, and Aunt Jackie and her team owner John are going to let me do a burn on an alcohol car this winter. I might not do it because I'm a scaredy cat, but maybe because I just put it out in the universe, maybe it'll happen. And we'll see. I want to try it. It's an opportunity. If I make a run and I don't absolutely cry, then maybe we'll see what it brings. But gonna try it out.
I could tell you that if we could ever make me look like you as a stunt double and you want me to get in that thing, you let me know, because I would love it.
Yeah, I wasn't up for it at first, but I've talked to a lot of people, and I definitely think it's a really cool opportunity. And not many people get opportunities like that, and I think I'm going to try it. And like I said, whether or not I actually do it, or whether or not I pee myself while going down the track because I'm scared, then we'll never do it. Nobody has to know that I ever tried it.
Hey,
just go on with my super comp career.
They make diapers for that. Put one on and send it. Don't worry about a thing.
Yeah,
I had a great idea for this winter, Pete. I'm gonna have our t-shirt person over in the other room.
Yep.
Make a t-shirt and I'm gonna wear it every week. We have a show. Taylor making burnouts great 2024.
That's right.
Yeah, I I actually had talked to Angel Sampey at Las Vegas Regional this year, or 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Yep.
And she was telling me the same thing. She had absolutely zero interest. She said her first full run, she actually screamed at Antron at the end of the track because she was so scared. But she said once she did her first run and then like she got a couple under her belt, she said it's really fun. So I kind of feel like I'm in the same mindset as her. So like I said, if I try it and I like it, maybe we can see where that goes. And if not, I know I'm comfortable and super comp, and hopefully my dad doesn't kick us out anytime soon.
Good deal. Well, that's going to be cool. I got to keep my eyes open for that. I would love to watch that.
All right, Tori, Taylor. I mean, sorry, you guys. This is messing me
No,
up.
you were right. Tori's done now.
Yeah, Tori's done now. Oh, I'm such a dope. That's all right.
I'll take that off for next time.
She's confusing you.
Yeah, we need the proper names in the corner for a reason, because we don't know who the hell we're talking to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This guy, yeah. So, well, that's awesome. We have to start a campaign for you. That's it. That's all there is to it. So let's see. And by the way, just so you know, Jackie did say you will be doing this. You have no choice.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because I can never look like you as a stunt double, so you have to do it.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the hair for the bun.
No, and I could get on a treadmill and run from now until your debut, and I still wouldn't be skinny.
Yeah,
Tori can do it. I did not have. I couldn't. I had a really good opportunity to do it, and the same opportunity that she might be getting is the same one that tried to convince me to, and I'm way too scared. And now that I have a baby, I'm afraid to drive my car sometimes because I don't want anything to happen to me. So now I'm definitely not doing it.
that's awesome.
Well, I can drive the truck too, you know.
No, that's slow. That's why I like Super Street. I don't even have to think. I'm good. Even if
That's why I could drive it, because it's slow.
There you go. Well, Tori, have a safe flight, and have a happy Thanksgiving, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
And if we have to give you motivational pep talks once a week until you take a trip,
We will.
we will.
Yep, we're here for you. Just for you. Just want you to know that.
Is
All
she
right.
frozen for everyone else or just me?
Huh? No, she's frozen. I think
Okay,
she's,
Yeah.
good.
I think she
wanted to make sure
froze.
my internet
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
flaking out.
she's walking towards the giant Tylenol to
Yeah.
get in there and fly home.
Exactly.
Mrs. Nobile.
My season was good-ish. It wasn't actually really good at all, but I was there, so that's a plus. It was my first season back since having Riley, so that was fun to be able to be back in the driver's seat. There wasn't anything I could complain about having Riley, but not racing was a little bit rough for me. Obviously it was well worth it because I have my new best friend, but the no racing, I definitely missed it. Same thing. I think the technical gods hated us this year because the truck had something wrong with it pretty much the entire year. We couldn't figure it out. Sean was ready to make all of his hair go gray because he just could not figure what was going on. We literally go up there and go 1090 and then 1102 and change nothing. And it just kept happening. And Sean is like probably one of the smartest guys I know. And my husband is right there with him. They both get numbers and talk to each other. And my dad and I look at them like, what are they talking about? Because we don't understand. So when those two couldn't figure out what was going on, I knew we had a problem. So around the week before Epping, they brought the car to New York. They worked till 2 o'clock in the morning and they changed everything. There was not one thing in the car that was the same. And it fixed it. We went to Epping and I came off the trailer and ran 1090 3 times. And Sean said, don't get your hopes up yet. It might be a fluke.
Right.
And then we went to Virginia and it did the same thing. It did exactly what we said. So I was really happy. I lost a really close race in Epping by a couple thou, nothing to
Right.
be upset about.
At least you
I
knew
actually,
you were in the race and it wasn't something
yeah,
stupid. Right.
exactly. And same with Virginia. I forget what happened in Virginia. We had a rough Virginia, so I was just ready to get the heck out of that racetrack
Yep.
after two crashes. Something I never want to relive ever again.
Yeah, right.
I definitely, Tori didn't touch on this. She wasn't at the race, but we all have gained a different feeling towards racing now. We've always watched crashes. Thankfully,
Yep.
we've never been a part of them. But to watch Vincent crash was probably the scariest thing ever.
I'm sure.
And it wasn't even like that bad. So my Uncle Lee's crash was pretty bad. He
Yep.
definitely rung his bell really hard and it was scary to watch. So we definitely now see the other side of what could happen again. And I
Right.
think it all put us back in our seat a little bit and said like, hey, just so you know, like the sport is it's dangerous. And
Sure.
I definitely respect people that go through crashes and get right back in the car because I was scared on the starting line and I didn't crash. So
Right.
for Lee and Vincent to just get right back in the next day and go down the track, I think that was really good for both of them.
Yep.
And don't want to ever see that happen in anyone, not even just my family, but anyone ever again.
Right. Right. Yeah, there's a reason why they say you got to get right back on the horse, right?
Yeah. And I will say, like, Vincent hit the wall at 220 miles an hour, and the safety safari people were telling us that he was going like this as he was coming off the wall because they were coming at him, and he just wanted to let us know that he was okay. So I think it's really great that they're implementing the Hans device. I think everyone should have to wear it. I don't care if you're in a street eliminator car. I think you should wear it because he literally walked away hitting the wall at 220 with he didn't even have a bruise on him. He
Right.
wasn't sore, nothing. Like that's crazy. So I'm definitely
That's,
for all
that's the
Hans.
way I feel about an engine diaper too.
Yeah,
I don't care how slow your car is. Everyone should have a diaper on their engine.
I agree.
It's crazy to me that the stuff that people will cry about. And I listen, I know I'm lucky I got a chassis car. It's easy to put a diaper on.
Yeah.
I know it's a pain in the ass for a lot of cars, but at the end of the day, if you could stop, if you could do something to prevent running over your own stuff, you're crazy not to, because when we run over our own stuff, it's usually pretty damn slippery.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's
Oil, water, it's
yeah, I had seen a posting thread about people complaining about the Hans devices being implemented and how expensive they were. And listen, I'm very fortunate. I mean, I don't really pay for my racing
right.
between my dad and my sponsors. They handle it. So Vincent and I aren't really a part of anything that has to do with my car. So I know I don't have to pay for that stuff directly, but I would rather sit out a race and know that I'm wearing a Hans device that if I do, God forbid, crash, it's going to save me. And when you think about it, like big scheme here, it's $300 to $500. We
Right.
spend a lot of money racing. That's
Yep.
not even an entry fee to a national event. So
Yep.
like, I definitely think it should be, and I'm glad it is going to be implemented for the next year because I think it's a big, it saves lives. It really does.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's been proven over and over again. It's not even a mystery,
No,
right? It's not opinion. It's absolute facts. So
yeah.
I do have to interrupt for just one quick second. Your sister is sitting on the plane and she just said, "Hey guys."
Of course she did. And then on the marketing side of the year, I'm going to give credit to Tori. Tori was never a go-getter for sponsors. It was always like, hey, Tail, write my name on it and I'll be a smiling face and I'll post for you. She never like had, I guess you could call it like the guts to go out and like ask for a partnership or see if anyone was interested. And Camry definitely has gotten her out of her shell. She has been talking to a bunch of people this year. She's been impressing me. She'll come home and be like, oh, I just talked to so-and-so and they're thinking about doing this with us next year, or they want us to keep in mind for the future. So she's been doing a really good job. And now it's not just me. It's not on me anymore. So I'm really proud of her for stepping out of her shell because she's not a shy person, but she's not as outgoing when it comes to like talking to strangers as I was.
Yep.
So she, I think, is going to really elevate our next move on whatever she ends up doing, and maybe I'll just be riding her coattails because I'm staying in Super Street for the rest of my life. So
Yeah.
I will say, as somebody, believe it or not, is actually quite quiet and shy, even though I do this, but I'm one of those type of people that unless I have a level of comfort with you, I can't talk to you. Whereas this is different. You know, something like this, obviously we've known each other, all known each other for a few years, so that's a little different. But I can understand where she was coming from with what you said.
yeah. I used to just be like, Tor, like so and so is, they have like an opening in their sponsorship, like let's go talk to them. And she's like, okay, but you do the talking. Or something as silly as like when we used to go out to eat, I used to have to order her food for her because she didn't want to talk to the waitress, like silly things like that. So now she's like really starting to come out of her shell, which now if we have two people out there marketing and putting ourselves out there, and she's like at the racetrack now all the time because sponsors really like national events the
Yep.
most. So it's awesome. Like if a company says, hey, could we meet here? I can say, yeah, Tori's there, or I'll be there in an East Coast race or whatever. So it's really great to see her stepping up, I guess you could say, and coming out of her shell.
Well, she's definitely surrounded by enough people that will make it happen with her. So
Yes.
that's a good thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. And did everybody see the picture of Jackie's audition for her retirement job?
No, I didn't see it. What did she say?
He had the microphone from Fox.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I did see that.
Yeah, so she got done her Vegas run, and since it was Monday, nobody was there to interview her. So she was like, I see the Fox microphone, and they send us this video in our family group chat. And she's like, guys, here's my top end interview. And we were like, but where's the interview person? And she's
And
like,
she's
oh, it was me.
interviewing herself.
I asked myself the questions.
Good for her.
Well, if all goes well, everything kind of blew up in my face with wanting to do the mic'd up thing, but I think that's going to be one of my big goals for next year.
You need to put it on Jackie first because that woman has more things come out of her mouth that you don't know where they came from or how she was even thinking that.
I'm gonna tell you, if you do it with me, it better not be a PG version, because good God.
Well, so that's
I'm
what people have said. Even Taylor said that. She goes, believe it or not, I tend to swear a lot.
you could only get it like top end. I have a lot of words with myself. We talk it out a lot. That's that's me and myself's personal time. And it's been a lot more yelling than it used to be. The year that I did really good, we had a lot of good motivational speeches at the end of that racetrack, but now it's just like, what the heck are you doing?
It starts for me when my door closes and the window net goes up and I know who I'm gonna race. And yeah, I'll probably lose a lot of friends if you have a mic on me for the whole time. But that's how I get motivated, right? I gotta talk a little smack to someone
Charge
that
yourself
can't hear
up.
me and I don't have to worry about getting beat up for it. So it works out.
I'm the opposite. I think I have like this weird mentality that like I have to make sure I say good luck, have a safe race to everybody. I have to be nice and do all my good things. And so if I didn't like say good luck to them, I'm like, oh, Taylor, you forgot to say good luck. Now you're gonna lose because karma doesn't like you right now. So I have all those conversations with myself.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
we'll probably have a mental health exam after we get out of the car at the end of the track.
Yeah.
But
And
Yeah,
then one more exciting thing on my husband's and he's getting back into mountain motor pro stock this year. So he's getting a new car built for him right now. So we're gonna get back into that. Him and his dad, well, his dad used to do it I guess probably 15 years ago at this point because I forget how old everybody is at this point. So he used to drive, and Vincent has never driven for him. And like they've never been a team together in that way. So
oh, that's
now
cool.
they're very excited to do the father-son thing. And it's a really cool program that they've come out with Richard Freeman. So it's a 6 race schedule and it's for a championship. And there's like a ton of cars getting involved in it, and it's only an 8-car field. So just to qualify for these races are going to be insane. I think Vincent and I were counting that there's probably going to be anywhere from like 12 to 16 cars every weekend trying to qualify for 8 spots. So it'll be
Wow.
really cool to watch.
Did they already announce the tracks where they'll be running?
Yes, so they're running in Charlotte, Brainerd, Maple Grove, Vegas is the last one at the end of the year. Bristol
Mm-hmm.
and Virginia.
Oh,
So
very cool.
it's kind of nice. There are a lot of local races and it'll work out. We're only gonna not be together for one race. When they're in Brainerd, we'll be in Epping. So it's
Okay.
nice. It worked itself out. So we'll only be separated because I don't like being away from him and Riley doesn't like being away from him. So it'll be
Yeah, I
nice.
mean,
to get to do it
especially
together.
when you guys are doing the same thing, right? You're both
Exactly.
racing, you want to be racing together.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully if he does well, we're going to go to Vegas. If he doesn't, we might skip it. So hopefully he does well and Riley can have her first trip to Vegas and be a part of the Think Racing Halloween costume this year
Very
Oh,
cool.
that'd be awesome.
or
We'll
next
have
year.
to get a cardboard cutout of Vincent and like move it around inside the trailer, outside the trailer. We'll
Exactly.
keep him there in spirit.
Yeah.
Now, is he considering any of the PDRA stuff as well, or is he just going to do the NHRA stuff?
No, because he still wants to do super comp. So we're gonna do divisionals and then those 6 national events. And then I'm gonna do 2 more nationals that he won't be like racing at, but he might run super comp or just might come with my parents. But the PDRA stuff is tough because they run really late at night too. So for like Riley to be up and us to be there without our family, like I guess I could take a moment to say a huge shout out to my mom. Like we can't race without her. She literally watches Riley like it's her own daughter. People joke with me at the track and say, "Where's your kid?" And I say, "I don't know." But
Yeah.
without we like I can't race without my mom. She has been a huge help. So to go somewhere else in a different sanction would be way too difficult. And we
Gotcha.
could do it if I didn't race, but I don't really want to give that up. So
Yeah.
we're going to stick with Amy.
Good for you.
Very cool. So what else do you have going on this winter as far as racing stuff other than the normal maintenance and rebuilding and whatever?
Yeah, so the motors are out right now to C2 competition converters and machining. My uncle's company, he's freshening up the truck motor, so that's good. Hopefully he'll go through everything and everything will be all right. But other than that, Tori and I have a couple meetings with some sponsors coming up. We also applied to a few sponsors that we've never been in contact with before. So I just had a meeting with one of them. So we have a ton of meetings coming up and hopefully we'll have some new sponsorships come into play. I really want to step the truck engine up to run super gas. I had fun. I ran 2 races. I lost 3rd round in both. And I like having the option to not be the one super street national event a year.
Right.
And I really don't like racing super comp. So I want some more national events in super gas now. So hopefully we can get some of these sponsorships to come too, and we can step the engine up and I could run super gas maybe still on the slower end, but just be able to run all year, not just at the end of the year when it's cold and not 100 degrees out.
Right.
So let me ask you another question. Obviously, all the huge improvements at Lebanon Valley as a competitor, what do you think of all the stuff that they got going on there?
So they're doing a great job. We really need to be appreciative of the tracks that take the time to step it up nowadays because we have so many that just are being shut down and don't have many places to go. It's like scary now. I feel like I get scared. Like all these racetracks are just leaving and disappearing and our schedule from NHRA is getting smaller and smaller. So it's really nice to see that a track's putting the time and money into making it better. I never had a problem with Lebanon Valley. I know some people just didn't like going there. I know some people crashed and they got scared. Not that the crash was caused by Lebanon Valley, but
Right.
I think all these improvements will just go to show people that the bumps or whatever they were talking about, or now that they're trying to make a flatter surface, that we need to support these tracks that are putting in the time and energy to us because we are the reason that they can stay afloat. So if we don't
Right.
support them, why would they do improvements? So hopefully this brings more customers. And even I know NHRA, like we come once a year, so we're not a huge market to them, but hopefully their local bracket racers can step up and show up every weekend for them too.
Yeah, and the impressive thing that I see, I mean, there's a lot of impressive stuff that they're doing, but their bracket program is, I would rival it against any bracket program in the country.
Mhm.
They bring in a boatload of cars. Um, Definitely more. I mean, I am not a huge bracket racer. I mean, at one point that's all I did.
Mhm.
Um, but their program is huge, and the fact that they're not sitting back and just resting on, well, we already, we had a good showing whenever we have a special event. We're a packed house every week when we have our bracket program. We don't really need to do anything else. Let's just sit back and collect all the money. And a business model, half the people would say, you've done stuff over the years. The track is pretty good. You bought some equipment. Sit back and start collecting money now. And they're not.
Yeah.
They're continuing to pour money into the track and make it a better experience for us. And it's you will still get people that bitch because that's human nature. But how
Yeah.
anyone can is beyond me. I don't get it.
I saw people, Wayne had posted, or maybe it was even Lebanon Valley's page posted that like they were showing the updates that were being done. And I saw people commenting like, we'll never go there. Your bumps are annoying. Like, I don't understand people. And then they're the same people that'll say negative things when they decide to close one day because they
Right.
can't afford to stay
Right.
open.
Yep.
So I always say, I've told Jackie this 1,000 times because she gets a little bit more hurt feelings than all of us. And I said, Jack, listen, you're never going to please anybody. And when you're
Right.
doing good things, that's when the more hateful things come on to you
Yep.
because people hate seeing you succeed. So I'm glad that Lebanon Valley is making improvements. Also, going off of like the not sitting back, Maple Grove is doing a great job of that too.
Absolutely. Yep.
They bought a track. You know that they weren't making money in the beginning just because you bought a business. So you don't make money in a new business right away.
Right.
And they've now had 2 sold out national events and they're pouring money into the facility.
Yep.
They have I think the coolest thing about Lebanon or Maple Grove is that their family works there.
Right.
At the national event, we had a suite. Fink Racing did, so we were all up there.
Yep.
And Karen, Kyle's mom, was coming in and collecting trash, and his sister Taylor was in there putting in and out food. Like they're the owners of the track and they're taking out your trash. Like
Yep.
that just shows you the type of people that they are as well, that
Right.
they're not just sitting back in an office and saying like, oh, here's our schedule, go get trash. At this time they're picking up the trash.
Right. Yeah, it was I went to Maple Grove twice this year. Ironically, one of them was for an RC car race, and then one was to actually race the big car. And it was funny because the guys, I went down there with 4 or 5 guys, and they're like, "Do you know the guys that own this track?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I, if I saw him walk by, I could point and say, hey, that's him." They're like, "Do they know you?" I'm like, "No, I race super street. They don't know who the hell I am." So I turn around and I'm doing something, and my buddy looks at me and he's like, I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Turn around." And I turn around and Kyle's standing right next to me. He goes, "What's up, Pete? How you doing?" Shaking my hand. I didn't even know the dude knew my name. Right. So we were laughing. They were breaking my stones all weekend. It drove me crazy as to how he knew me or my name. I went on my instant messenger and I typed in his name and I actually bought, I don't know, a throttle stop from him at one point or valve covers or whatever the hell it was. And, we had a conversation back and forth. But to your point, we're over there on a return road that hasn't been used in 100 years and he's letting us race RC cars on it. He came over 3 or 4 times to check it out. His mother and father came over. All kinds of employees of the track were coming over to check it out. And yeah, it was for the first time ever letting us do that, it was a very family feel and we felt welcome. There was a crack going across where we slow the cars down. And he said, the next time you guys come here, that crack will be fixed. And it was. And yeah, I mean, it's just the whole of them, the Lebanon Valleys and the Maple Groves and the family owned run businesses. You really get a different feeling than when you go to a place that is just kind of a cash cow, right? And they just want your money, and they'll make
Yeah.
the place safe and decent, but it's a different feeling when you're doing it with a family.
Yeah, and I said that to I think my mom. We've obviously known Kyle our whole life and Kenny as well, but I really didn't know his sister or mother. And we went to the first race, and of course Riley brings a lot of attention. People want to look at her and stuff. So his mom was like, "Hi, I'm Karen. I'm the owner." And I said, "Oh, you're Kyle's mom." And he's like, "Yeah, everybody calls me Kyle's mom." So she was talking with Riley, and I just was watching her work, and I'm like, this woman owns this racetrack and she's working harder than everyone here. And then his sister at the time was still a teacher, I believe. So she was working two jobs, and they were in the bar serving alcohol till like 2 in the morning. And I'm like, are you guys going to go home now? And they're like, yeah, we're going to drive an hour home now. And I said, like, this is crazy. And like, you're the owner. So I love to see them like heavily involved. And like you said about Kyle, he's very good about coming over. Tori actually broke on the return road, and Kyle got out of his car and was calling like their whatever tow person to come
Right.
get him. And I was like, he's literally racing. This was first round, and he's calling a tow guy to get Tori.
Right,
And
right.
like very, and I actually like that he races. Some people complained that he was racing and the owner or whatever, but I think it's good. You have a different side of like the owner and the racer all in one. It's like a different aspect that we don't get many times.
Right. I mean, they have, as an owner, he has a full perspective of what it's like to race.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons, in my opinion, as to why Wayne is such a successful track manager. He raced for years. I mean, back when I bracket raced at Lebanon Valley every weekend, I was racing against him. So it again, when you do it, it gives a different perspective when it comes time to manage it and run it.
Yeah, and Wayne takes pride. I know he can come off as like he doesn't care, because that's like the little attitude he sometimes
right.
portray. But he truly does care about the racers. John Fink does a lot with them because he's right up the road, and Jackie's always testing there, and they're always so accommodating, and it's just a great family place to be. And I think we just need to start supporting all of these tracks more instead of bashing them any chance we can get on the internet, because I don't know. I don't understand the keyboard heroes online. Like, you're not there, you're not running the business, you
I
don't know
know.
how hard it is. Why have anything negative to say?
I mean, I will even tell you that even if you went to a track and you did not have a good experience, why flap your mouth about it?
Exactly.
Just don't go back. If you're not happy with it, don't go back. If someone asks you your opinion, it's your right to give it, right? Because they're asking. But I don't, that's like if someone's selling something and I think they're asking a ridiculous amount of money for it. I'm not going to call them an idiot. I'm just not going to buy it.
And
I'll move on to try and get a deal somewhere else.
I say that with NHRA too. I took time this year to reach out to all of them and say thank you, because these guys are like, some of them are 70, almost 80 years old, and they're out there every day. And I complain about waking up at 8 o'clock to make a run, and I'm like not working. I am having fun, and they're
Right.
having fun too because they love it. They love the sport, but
Yep.
they're out there all day in the elements, dealing with people yelling at them all day long. I just don't understand how people can sit there and yell at them. Yeah, I don't agree with every call NHRA makes. I'm not like
Right.
this person who's going to say NHRA's never done wrong or done this, but we're using their sandbox to play in.
Yep.
And the least you could do is be appreciative of the people that are working. And without the workers of NHRA, there is no NHRA. So
Right.
without Bill sitting up there, Bill Masiello in the back, pulling you to the lanes when he asks you to go, like, why complain? I don't know.
Listen, I'm with you 100%. I get it. People put every call that NHRA makes under a microscope, and that they're supposed to knock it out of the park and get it right every single time. I don't know about you, but I can promise you that I've made a boatload of calls that weren't right in my life, in my racing career, in my business. I mean, the list could go on and on. And I guarantee you, everyone that's at the track has been in the same boat. So why is it okay for us not to be right 100% of the time, but we expect them to be right 100% of the time? I just don't understand what some people think.
And I'm all about like, listen, I'm there to race. I want to race. So I understand when it's an iffy call at night and you're the one that wants to go down and I'm the one that doesn't. Like, you just have to understand that in the grand scheme of things, 99% of the time, they're trying to do what's best for us. So
Right.
it sucks maybe that your run got pushed to Sunday or you wanted an extra time run, but like in the end, they're trying to finish a race. They're there working and they're trying to keep everyone safe. So
Right.
I'm all about if they cancel us, if they get rid of something, they have to make a choice at some point, and the choice is going to make half the world happy and half the
Right.
world unhappy. So
Yep.
it's always a whatever.
Yep. I totally agree. Whatever. I think we can fix all the world's problems right here on Racing News Network. What do you think?
As long as we don't talk about the rain.
Oh God. That I think that's something that we could all agree on, right?
Or the weather in general at an event.
Right. Right. I think we could all agree that that sucked this year. I
Yeah.
don't think anyone would say all our racing conditions were awesome all year long, because it was not in the Northeast.
No, definitely not.
But I will say this though, Steve Rhodes has officially declared that he has a book with all the answers.
Excellent. Pages are blank, I assume.
It's probably very similar to that yellow pad of paper with the pen that I posted the other day
Right.
that had all the answers to everything. There's nothing written on it.
Nothing on it.
Yeah.
Especially in this world. I don't
Yep.
have any more answers.
God.
And Taylor, this is for you. TC said, "Stay right where you are."
TC, that's another person. Congrats on your championship. He's a great guy. I just got recently in the last 2 years, I feel like I've gotten to know him and he's really a great guy and he definitely deserved that championship.
And Chris, what does TC stand for?
Thomas Charles.
Got it.
I wouldn't even know that. I would not know that.
We
when
learned
I
it last week.
I went through last week getting all the Division One winners together, and I see Thomas Smith. I'm like, who the hell is Thomas Smith? And then I look on Facebook, and a couple of people have posted on TC's page, "Hey, congratulations, champ!" And I'm like, "Who is this?" So it took me like 10 minutes of research. I'm like, "Oh, okay." I feel like even dumber now.
I could have
Thomas
guessed
Charles.
it, I think, but I wouldn't have known that.
Yep. Well, I learned. You never stop learning. And I learned that last week. So
You probably would have figured it out a lot quicker than we did, though.
I don't know. Sometimes I can be really slow, especially since having Riley. I feel like my brain cells went down a little bit.
it's called mom brain.
Yeah, I definitely have a full case of mom brain sometimes.
Well, I got 5 of them, so I really have an excuse.
He's got no brain.
None.
You have 5 kids?
I have 3 biological and 2 step. And you probably don't remember it because you and your sister were literally infants. I won't say infants, toddlers. When I had all 5 of mine running around at the track, but it was like when it came time for national event season, they would run around and it was hysterical because all the drivers would recognize them. I've got pictures of my kids inside Antron Brown's hospitality tent. And at the end of the day, like at the end of a Friday or a Saturday, when everyone leaves and we're just all in the racetrack, I let the kids run wild.
Yeah.
And next, they're coming back with shirts and pistons and all kinds of stuff. And I miss those days. I really do. I'm glad that they're all independent and everything, but savor this time that you have because there will be a time when you really miss it. So
That's the cool thing about racing. I feel like quick story, Eddie Krawick, he's been around my family for since my mom and Jackie were kids at Englishtown, and he was always very friendly with me as a kid growing up. And he told Tori's been now at the track, and they've always been parking next to Vance and Hines. Like Camry's either back to back with them or next to them. And
Yep.
Eddie's like, Amy, this is crazy. Like I see Taylor with a kid. I have Tori now, like bothering me in my pit area. And this weekend, his son was at the track hanging out with Tori all weekend. He's 5, I think, or maybe 6.
Yep.
And I was like, this is so cool. Like, this is full circle. He's
Full
talking about
circle.
being with my mom as a kid and Jackie hanging out. Now he was talking about our childhood, and now he has a son that's hanging out with Tori. And like Tori was buying him a snow cone. Just really cool to see the full circle. And I guess since being a mom, I get more sentimental about things. But like,
Right.
I just think it's so cool watching everyone with Riley now, and all the people that I grew up with are now like being cool bonus aunts and uncles to
Yep.
Riley at the track. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things, and I'm sure a lot of motorsports has it, but that's one of the things that I've always loved about the racing ordeal is just the whole family aspect of it. One of the reasons why I compliment you and your sister and your family so much, because it's a family deal, and I remember my ex-wife was not a big fan at all of racing. She always let me do it, but just didn't want any part of being there. And when I met my current wife, she was all about it. And it was because of her that all of my kids went to the track and was able to watch me race. And then her kids the same. And they were a friggin' pack running around. And it was like the best time ever. And like I said, I do wish that I spent a little more time taking it in, because now it just pops up on Facebook memories and it's like, oh, I remember that. But it was definitely cool.
I'm
I
really
can remember. Oh, go ahead,
no,
Taylor.
you go. What were you saying?
I can remember a number of years ago on the original show, I asked, I think it was actually Craig Rice, because his son was still in juniors then. I said, as a parent and as a racer, and as a parent of a racer, do you see a difference in kids that grow up at the track, kids that didn't? He didn't even hesitate. He's like,
Yeah.
absolutely. Respect. The long and short of it was respect. Not a whole lot of respect.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I see it. I see it in school a lot. And there are times where I kind of feel bad because a lot of the kids just don't have the opportunities that we were fortunate enough to have. Yeah, I mean, I will stand toe to toe and argue with anybody about kids that grow up at a racetrack versus kids that don't, and how respectful they are and how polite they are. I have plenty of polite kids in my school, and I'm always getting treated with respect, but it's just different. It's a whole different culture, and they definitely have a different view on stuff.
I
Absolutely.
agree. I feel like I learned, not that I was more respectful than other kids, but I just feel like I always could like hold a conversation with an adult. And I see it now. I mean, I was in the teaching world for a very short time, but I just see the kids nowadays, and like they're at dinner on their iPad and they don't talk to their parents. Like when I used to go to dinner as a kid, we would play tic-tac-toe and color and
Right.
communicate with one another, and I could sit in a dinner with adults and be a good kid. And I feel like we lose that now because, and it's sad because a lot of it is the world got so expensive and people have to work now. So it's not all on the parents, like that this is why the world is turning the way it is. But Vincent and I have a no iPad rule at the table. Riley's really hard to sit still right now, but
Yep.
we're trying our hardest to entertain her, and we really want her to communicate with adults and be able to have conversations, and not like I never want to have to leave her at home because she can't behave at a function with other adults in the room.
Sure, absolutely.
And the racetrack definitely teaches you that, because my friends were adults. Like I was probably 10 and I could talk to Danny Northrup, just a few people that like were my parents' friends, but I felt like they were our friends too.
Right.
Very cool.
No doubt.
Yep.
All right. Well, we've come to that point in our show. You know what's coming up, right?
What? The goodbye song?
Well, no, that too, but you got to start naming all your sponsors.
Oh, perfect. So I'll just do my sponsors this past season because I don't have 100% list on next year, but
Perfect.
start with Josh Hart and Brittany Hart from Bernie's Speed Shop. They, like we've said before, they're our longest supporter, and we're forever thankful for them because without them, we probably wouldn't have started this journey in Division 1 racing and national event racing. So we're forever thankful for them.
Yep.
NGK, NTK, spark plugs. They help us a lot, and they help Jackie. Who else? Let's see. Right Trailers. They were a new sponsor for me this year, not Tori. They had her last year. And it's really great to see their involvement in this sport. They're like helping so much in Right Trailers, top dragster, top sportsman. It's really cool to see how they started with like I feel like 2 people, and now they have all these race cars with Right Trailers on them. C2 Competition Converters and Machining, my uncle. Without him, I wouldn't be on the racetrack. My parents, because they are my sponsor, because without them I can't race. So thank you. Accelerated Travel, Fink Racing. Did I get them all? I hope I it's so oh no, I didn't. I forgot to. VP Lubricants and VP Race Fuels. They've helped us, and I hope that this year we can go off a little bit bigger with them. And Hoosier Tires. And then I got them all.
Very cool. Now, I don't want you to be specific as to who pays what, but let's say I'm interested in having my name on the side of your car. What kind of packages are there as far as could I get my name on the side of your car for 500 or will it cost me 5,000?
So we literally have all different sponsorship packages.
Sure.
So how they break it up, because I've literally been talking with Camry Caruso about this because I truly didn't know how people put together numbers in their head. Like I asked Camry, I said, how do you know to ask for X dollars or Y dollars? Like, how do you know? What can you say to them that shows them how much their company is worth? So obviously Josh is my biggest sponsor, so he gets my door, and that's just been we've had the same number for our whole time together.
Yep.
And now what Tori and I do is if you want to be on both of our cars, we have like a package for that. So literally 500 could get you a sticker on a part of the car. It's not going to be my main part, but and it wouldn't be like each level of sponsorship comes with also exposure. Like I always say Josh first in all my stuff because again, that's where my loyalty's at because he's been around for so long.
Yep.
And then it just kind of goes off from there. So any number could get you on the car. It just depends on what you want from me. And do you want me to do this kind of thing, like speaking engagements with your company? Do you need me to write trailers? You have to write a race recap every weekend for them.
Yep.
And you have to send in marketing videos. So they'll ask you to silly things like what's your favorite band, and you send it in and they're going to post it on social media.
Sure.
So it all depends on the breakdown of what you want us to be worth in a way, because every relationship has its worth and how much I can give to you and how much you can give to me.
Yep. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, the reason why I asked was again, not to be personal, but this is kind of a sponsorship show.
Yeah.
So I kind of want people to know, obviously they see how hard you work promoting their companies. I want them to know what kind of money could possibly be on the table.
Yeah. So it's literally anywhere from, it could be 500 to 20,000, 30,000 if you get very high up there.
Sure.
I don't have that sponsorship in the 30s.
I hear you.
There are plenty of people who do, and it all depends on, I always say it starts off small, and it's however much you can end up bringing to them at the end of the season. That's why your first season with a sponsor is the most important, because you show them what you can bring to them, and then you start a relationship from there.
Yep.
So it's all about that. And I will say, I tell my sister this all the time too. One sponsor can kickstart 1,000 more sponsors.
Oh,
Once
without a
you get
doubt.
one sticker on the car and they see you promoting yourself, they come on a lot easier. Like once I had Josh, the rest just kind of fell in line. Also having Jackie as my aunt, she helps us because she'll say, hey, you could sponsor us 3 girls and you can get this out of it. And now Vincent has helped me too, because I like Tori said, she's Taylor's sister. I'm Vincent's wife. So Vincent says like, hey, do you want to sponsor my wife? And obviously he has a name for himself,
Sure.
being a pro stock driver for 11 years that I just don't have. So
Right.
that helps too. So I would just saying forming relationships and not starting off as a very high ball number. Like your 500 number is
Right.
like, that would be my opening number, I would say, for somebody who's trying to get a sponsorship for this first season that you're getting out there.
Yeah, right. Awesome. I love it.
Yep.
I appreciate the info.
Thanks for having me on tonight, guys.
I'm wondering if I could get any type of sponsorship as Taylor's host.
Yes. I could put that
I'll even change my name in the corner of the screen too if I have to.
I could put that in the bottom of my marketing proposals. Also, would you like to sponsor Taylor's host, Pete?
That's right. Taylor's hostess with the mostess.
The floating head. That's what.
Yeah, I know this. It doesn't like me on my couch. This is a couch cushion, by the way, right here somewhere.
He literally looks like
There
the
it is.
floating head.
And I'm like the worst. I'm constantly moving when I talk, so I throw it all off and everything. But
No.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a good
thank
night.
you. Best of luck to you in 24. I'm assuming that we will probably talk to you again before the season starts. But as always, it's been a pleasure. When you see or talk to your sister again, please tell her we said the same about her.
I will have a good winter, and especially Chris, stay out of the snow.
Yeah, yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving to the family.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Tell the family we said hi.
I will.
Yeah.
Take care.
All right, Taylor Nobile and Tori Iacono, our guests for the evening, along with the floating head.
Yeah.
I always like it's like that's like talking to good friends, isn't
Yep.
it?
Yeah, it is. I know we have them on the show a lot, but you know what? They bring a lot to the table.
Yep.
First of all, it's always entertaining. And then, every time we have them on, it's always a different aspect. And I think with the season winding down and before you know it, we're going to blink our eyes and it'll be after the first of the year. And then people will start seeking sponsorship. And I think it's just a good way to kick off the off season.
Absolutely.
And hopefully people got ideas and it could help improve their program too.
Yep. And I will fix before the next show. I'll find out what in the world is going on with why Zoom won't let my group, the RNN page, post. So we don't have people trolling the internet trying to find us.
Yeah, right.
Go to one location. But before we get on out of here, I would like to go through very quickly the list of 2023 Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series national champions in all the classes. We're going to kick it off, of course, with top alcohol dragster. That is Julie Natas taking home the championship this year. Doug Gordon in top alcohol funny car. The TV man, Bruno Massel Jr. in comp eliminator. He's won like 4 or 5 championships now.
Yeah, he's won a couple.
Yep. Wyatt Wagner in Superstock. Kyle Rizzoli in stock eliminator. John LaBouse Jr. Never heard of that guy, have you?
Never. He must be new to the class.
He must be. Takes home the championship in Super Comp. Trevor Larson in Super Gas, who I was reading something today. He didn't roll out till like July.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's no stranger to the winner's circle either. We hear his name a lot.
Yep. And of course, we would be remiss in our bias of the last 2 classes. Coming on home to NHRA Division 1. I'm not a member, but I am a fan of Division 1.
Yep.
In top sportsman, the man who will race anything, anywhere. Actually, young man that will race anything, anywhere,
And win with it. And win
and
with it.
win
Yeah.
with damn near everything.
Yep.
Also, talking about Brandon Miller, your 2023 NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series top sportsman champion in that badass looking truck.
Yep.
And came down to the last race of the year, not the last round, but we will talk ever so briefly about that because I know you want to, even though you got things to do. Last race of the year, made the long trip out west to take home the 2023 NHRA Lucas Oil Drag Racing Series top dragster champion, Vince Mussolino. Congratulations.
Very cool. And I have to address something that we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
I believe that you asked me what my predictions were for the 4 professional categories. And if I'm not mistaken, I might have gone 4 for 4.
All right. So
I can't remember if my only question is funny car. Motorcycle wasn't a mystery to anybody.
no, that was a blowout.
Yeah. Pro stock was, I don't want to say all but a lock, but it would have been pretty surprising if she didn't win.
Now, I do have to say this: my 2 favorites were Pro Stock and Top Fuel.
Right.
Top Fuel for the obvious reason that it came down to the last race,
Right.
last round for the championship. Can't ask for anything more than that. I'm
No.
still not a fan of the chase type deal. I really don't like that, no matter what kind of. I think that's just my opinion. But
I'm going to tell you that the chase made it as exciting as it was. And when the chase first, when the chase first started, there was always people that figured out the points with and without the chase.
mhm.
And because the chase has been around so long, I think it probably doesn't get done anymore. Or if it does, it's so few that we never hear about it. But I'm absolutely a fan. So you and I are polar opposites on it. I am a huge fan of it, and the reason why I'm a fan of it is because how many non-chase years have the championship come down to the final round at Pomona?
True.
You know, and I know, and again, lack of research on my part, the run with Tony Schumacher, which is when Doug had his closest shot at winning a championship.
Mhm.
I don't remember if that was a chase year or not. That might have been pre-chase. And that was obviously a phenomenal. I mean, not only did Tony Schumacher have to win the race, he had to win the final round and set a national record because that's when they gave points for the national record. And he needed those couple of points to win the championship.
Yeah.
And I just can't remember if that was a pre-countdown season or if it was a countdown season, but I'm a fan of it. Every sport we know has playoffs, and in my opinion, I just think it adds an element of excitement.
Fair enough. So to get to the champion for 2023 Nitro Funny Car, of course, Tony Stewart Racing and Matt Hagan are your victors.
And how old is that team? This is the second full year for that team, correct?
I believe, yes. Second or third year, yeah.
How about a team as new as they are coming within one round of sweeping Top Fuel?
Yep.
I mean,
That's impressive.
finishing first and second and only being one round out of first and first is hats off to Tony Stewart and his crew.
Yep. And of course, Doug Coletta, 2023 NHRA Camping World Top Fuel Dragster Champion. Again, last race, last round, and did it.
Well, I was sitting in the airport when I was asking you for race report, mostly because I was just too lazy to Google it myself, and I knew that you would know it. But when you told me the semifinals and you gave me the four names, I'm like, so you're telling me that the four people that have a shot at winning the championship are the last four cars standing?
Yep.
And you were like, yep. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be a phenomenal race. Then when you told me it was Doug and Leah in the final, I'm like, so this is going to be for the championship, right? And you were like, yep. And then I'm a bad guy. I don't put my phone on airplane mode when I travel. So sometimes, depending on where we are, it'll pick up signal.
Did you let out a yell when you saw that?
So we picked up signal at one point, and I saw that you had sent me an image. But when I clicked on the image, it was blank. And I'm like, damn it, I know he sent me an image of who won, but you didn't write anything. And the picture won't come through when I click on it. So now I'm like, oh, this is driving me crazy. And then we flew over like New York or something, and it popped up, and I was like, yes, that's so cool.
Yep.
But yeah, it was very very entertaining to watch. I thought it was great.
Absolutely. And of course, the young lady that was all but written off after the first 3, 4, 5 races of the year, that oh, she's washed up, she's done, elite is not elite anymore,
Right,
blah
right.
blah blah, so on and so forth. Turned it all around, started kicking ass, taking names, and took home championship number 6 in pro stock, of course, Erica Enders and Elite Motorsports.
Yep. Yep, very cool. I don't know that it's a big surprise to anybody. Uh, she hustles. I mean, she's got a great team and she's a great driver, and
Yep.
that usually equates to a championship.
Yep. And she either tied or surpassed WJ. I believe she surpassed.
I know that she is now crowned the most winningest female in drag racing.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Did WJ have? I know WJ has more race wins because
Yeah,
doesn't he have like 99 race wins?
Oh, all right. Let me just check let me see if I can find it real quick.
I feel like he's either like 99 or 98 wins. He's just short of 100. Inquiring minds want to know,
Yep.
or at least I do.
I don't type fast, so deal with it. He has a total of 6 pro stock championships, so they are tied.
They are tied.
All right. So how many wins? You want to know how many wins? Unless somebody beats me to it. And sorry, I talk while I type.
I want to say he didn't quite get 100.
97.
97. All right, I was in the ballpark anyway.
The second most in NHRA history.
Of all drivers or pro stock?
All of this little factoid says is the second most in NHRA history.
So then it's got to obviously John Force has got to be number one. But didn't Greg Anderson? Greg Anderson, I feel like he got more wins than WJ.
Yeah, I think didn't he break 100?
Yeah. So when they say second all time, they mean in pro stock.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, 97 wins, the second most in NHRA history, proves that, as does his streak of 303 straight starts.
Right. That was a pretty impressive streak too.
And he was the first to break 200 miles an hour in 1997.
Yep.
So very cool.
And I believe wasn't Kurt the first one in the sixes?
Hold on.
See, if we had Duran on the show, he just knows this stuff right
I
off the
just
top.
rattle it right off his head.
Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe we just agree with whatever he says because we think he knows.
Oh, that sounds good. Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. To break, what am I looking for? First pro stock to break.
First pro stock in the sixes.
Yep. Let's see. This day in history, Kurt Johnson, 698, on his second pass makes pro stock history.
And that might have been Englishtown too.
Let's see. Do, 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 do,
One of the two, either the 200 or the 699, 698 came in English.
698 with an 8 at the Mopar Parts Nationals.
Yep. E-Town.
Yep.
See, I do know a little bit about NHRA
A
history.
little bit. We both know that I don't type fast.
That's all good.
But big congratulations, everybody. Like I said, I enjoyed the Top Fuel. Again, last race,
Right.
race, last round for the championship.
Yep.
And again, Enders and Elite fell flat on their faces the first 3, 4, 5 races, and everybody said they were done. And guess what? You're
Yeah.
wrong.
See that now. Again, this is what I've heard. Don't know if it's true or not, but because of the format, they could do a lot more testing on race day and still have a shot at winning a championship. Whereas if it was the other way around, they couldn't. So you see people going out first, second round, not hoisting the trophy as much as you're used to, and you write them off. When I say you, obviously I don't mean you personally, but and then they get written off. And then all of a sudden, when the countdown starts, it's like, oh my God, where did they come from? Well, they're no longer in test mode. They're now in win race and win championship mode.
Yeah.
And it definitely changes the plan of attack on the season. In my opinion, if you have the ability to pull it off, that's the way to do it because, you test until it counts.
I could be wrong. It's been known to happen a lot. But I remember when they started struggling, reading, it was either, I don't remember if it was Eric Anders or if it was Richard Freeman saying, we're basically going to live at Tulsa Speedway to test.
Right.
That will be our home. We will be, burying this car there to test.
Yep.
Figure out what is going wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, some people will look at that as they have unlimited resources and they should win. Right? Because there's a lot of teams that just simply can't afford to do that. But
Right.
at the end of the day, because they can afford to do that, that shouldn't be a stain on their name.
No.
The fact that they can do it and they do it, is a testament to how hard they work, in my opinion. I could tell you that if someone said to me, we're going to pay for all your expenses, and we're going to give you a paycheck so that you're making what you're making now, but you're going to come to the track and we're going to test until your program is 100%. I don't think there's too many people out there that would say, no, that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Most people would be there working their asses off. So,
we could use you as an example. A couple of years ago, you were having problems left and right. You probably would have killed to be able to go out.
Oh, without a doubt.
Take your car down, maybe not every day, but at least 2 or 3 times a week,
Right.
figure
Right.
out what the hell is going on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest problem with my program right now is I can't afford to have a gremlin pop up like like what Taylor was talking about earlier, they had an issue with their truck. What took them half a season to deal with and figure out and fix, I would be probably 2 or 3 years deep because I just don't have the time to dedicate to it that they do. And that's not, bad on them or bad on me. It's what life allows. It's
a
the way it
fact.
is. And I would never sit here and say, well, yeah, no, no wonder why they do good. They got sponsors and they got a bunch of people that'll work on the car. Well, you know what? If I had sponsors and I had a bunch of people that would work on my car, I'd be doing the same friggin' thing.
Yep.
And anyone who says no is lying. You use the resources that you have. And that's, you'd be crazy if you didn't.
Absolutely. And they did it, and they pulled it off. They came back. I mean, 0 to hero, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean,
It was-
listen, at the end of the day, she was, I won't say happy about the year that she had, but I'm sure she was proud of the work that they put in and the results that they got. And whenever you could finish up a year and you could say it was a decent year, that's a win in my book.
Absolutely.
So on that note,
I think we will bid you a fond adieu.
so what
Um,
8:30 means is I'll be able to fast forward through a couple sets of commercials, so that's good.
and fall asleep.
That's right, and I'll be asleep by 9.
Yep. So we will be back the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. I'm already working on guests.
Okay,
You're gonna be back by then?
I will be back from Florida by then. Yes,
All right.
as long as I have running vehicles and a shop that's not on fire, I'll be able to join you. Yeah.
All right. Well, I've already talked to a couple people, so we're gonna start working on some championship and some top 10 national points people.
Awesome.
And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please give a big round of applause to our guests this evening, Taylor Nobile, Tori Iacono, Pete for being able to make it without driving his truck off the road into the guardrail. And we obviously would like to say happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there. And
Yes.
again, I promise I will figure out what in the world is going on. It's not me. For once, it's not me. It's
Imagine that.
this thing here.
Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy your holiday and your family, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, everybody, take care. Enjoy the kickoff to the crazy season. Congratulations to all our champions, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're out of here. See ya.